So here we have the large sprue from the Shadows of Brimstone Swamps of Death set, and we can pull this out of the bag here. And you can see that on this frame we have 4 Hungry Dead figures, we've got 2 of the Hellbats, and we've got 1 large slasher figure. So we'll look at the slasher first. So we take our handy clippers here, and we just clip these, again using the flat edge of the clippers and putting it right up against the model, and clipping it basically as close to the model as you can, so you can get each of the little parts off with as little of the sprue remaining. Now the slasher is kind of a big insectoid creature that burrows through rock and actually hunts down, sniffs out, and eats darkstone. Now with this large sprue here, you actually get 3 of this in the box so that you can make 12 Hungry Dead, 6 Hellbats, and 3 of the large slasher figures. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for now. So we can see the different pieces that we have. We've got 2 halves of the body that you put together like that. We've got the 2 front arms, and we've got the 2 legs. So again, we can use our plastic cement to assemble this guy. And the slasher is a large figure, so he actually goes on a 40mm base. And again, if you want to remove any of the mold lines or little nubs that might be there, you can use either a hobby knife or you can use a file to just trim down some of those if you're planning on painting them and you want them to look really pristine. So when gluing multi-part guys like this, usually you don't want to get too much of the cement on. You want to put a little bit in the part that's going to be connecting, and then put just a little bit around the edges so that it doesn't really have enough to squeeze out, but it's there to hold it. And there's a little lip you can sort of lay the plastic down on the figure itself. And then he just pretty simply squeezes together. Now with this kind of cement, usually it's good to press the figure and hold it a little bit, but these guys go together pretty tightly, so once you press it a little bit like that, he's pretty much together. And the glue will dry over time, but it's not really going to come apart as it is. Also, you'll notice that with these arms, they basically only go on in one way. The little pegs have a shape to them, and so if you try to put that in the wrong way, it won't fit. It only fits one way. A lot of times with models like this that are multi-part, it's a good idea to dry fit them together without using the glue first, just to see how they're going to fit together. Then you can go back and actually add the glue to put the pieces together. It's important not to use too much glue on these connections, otherwise it'll squirt out the sides and create a little bubble around the joint. Alright, and then we can put the legs on there. Again, we can dry fit those just to see how they're going to fit. It's pretty straightforward. Alright, so all the pieces are together now, and sometimes it's a good idea to press on the joints to hold them together and just give it a little bit of a push so that they're more likely to stay together. And if it feels like the connection's not strong enough, you can just pop it off and put a little more glue around there. But with the slasher, it really only goes together in one way. And then you can see, to put him on his base, you're going to want to put glue on his 2 back feet, and then have those back feet kind of centering the figure on the base. So you can just put a little bit of glue like that on the 2 feet. And then decide where you want the feet to sit, and then just sort of press them down like that. And it's usually a good idea to either put something under his claw to hold him upright, or just to hold him for a few seconds to get him really nice and tight. Now, one thing you'll notice about the plastic cement is that it doesn't dry as quickly as regular super glue does. So if you just put him on like that and let him sit, he may actually lean over a little bit over time. So if you want to prevent that, you can take some piece of plastic or something and put it under like his claw so that he leans against it. And so he'll be dry in a few minutes and completely solidified in about 24 hours. And that is how you put together the slasher.